So I've been making the hearts that I was telling you that I was going to show you how they are made. So finally I got them done. So stay tuned and I'll show you how easy these are to create. Hi YouTube friends, it's Lee here. Welcome back. I've been enjoying a little bit of a break, and this video has actually been taking me so long to make because I just do a little bit each day and then it's like, oh, I don't feel like doing anymore. Anyway, I promised one of these videos for the hearts that I used in my journal, so I'm going to show you how to make them. So I'm just going to show you, there's one there, and there's another one I've used as a tab. So you don't need anything special to make these. I'm just using scraps, so cardboard, packaging, food packaging, boxes that have come in the mail, old Christmas cards. This is one of those Christmas cards that's been covered on both sides. So anything really, depending on the thickness that you want it to be. And then I just go through magazines, pick out the bits that I like, that attract me as far as colour goes, tear them up into workable pieces, and when I lay them on the cardboard, I'm not actually thinking of any particular pattern. I just want to get some high contrast of colours and something nice and bright, because I go towards the bright colours. And then I'll prepare the cardboard by cutting down a box or two, and we'll see how we go from there. This is a good weight, this cardboard. It's a little bit more stable than like a biscuit box. It had a frozen meal inside it, so a little bit more stable. So I pretty much don't throw much of this away. I will use most of the pieces except for the tiny little bits that I cut off. And what I'll do is just cover the cardboard in pieces of paper, usually 2 layers. So I will sometimes, if I remember to do it, put bigger pieces on the bottom so I get the first layer down really quickly, and then I'll go from there on. I'll put little colour pops everywhere all over it. So I'm giving it a nice coat of Mod Podge. You could use any glue you like, as long as you know it's not going to, it won't let go of what you're gluing on there. I like Mod Podge myself because it's easy to use the paintbrush and get it everywhere. So that's what I'm trying to do. So I've laid down 1 layer of a base colour, pretty much the bluey green colours, and now I'm adding some pinks on top, a bit of yellow. Just want this to be nice and bright. Once it's finished, I'll just pop it to the side and let it dry naturally. Another thing I like about the Mod Podge is it gives a nice feel to the finished product. It's got a real stable sturdiness about it, so I like the way it feels. So that's the first one done. I'll be putting that to the side to dry, then I'll trim it up and decide what I'm going to do with it. So this is the bigger piece that I cut off, and I'm just going to lay down some bigger pieces on the bottom. My personal preference is to use glossy magazine pages, and you'll see the difference when a bit later on when I start cutting up one that I did from pages out of a Daphne's Diary, where it's a matte finish on the paper and it doesn't have the vibrance that you get from the glossy papers. It's quite dull. It still looks nice, but it's dull compared to these bright ones. So don't worry about advertising, like I can see there's some shampoo bottles or something in amongst the pieces of paper there, the labels of some shampoo. So I'm not worrying about that. If there's a bit of writing showing at the end, well, it's fine. It might get covered up. But when I cut the shapes out, it's highly unlikely that there'll be a big section of that showing. So this is shaping up nice and brightly with the blues and the greens and the purples. Bit of yellow in there, and I'll just keep going until it's to the point where I think it looks nice, and then I'll pop it to the side to dry. Something else that I have used on this one is a bit of gel printed tissue, so that's what that aqua and blue on right down the bottom was. Giving the whole lot a coat of Mod Podge to seal it all in, and then I'll put it aside. I thought while I was at it I'd have a go at using some fabric. So I haven't tried this before, so this is an experiment. You're seeing it for the first time as I was when I was doing it. So because it is fabric, I'm using the Boyle craft glue, so it's a bit like Fabri-Tac. It's an acetone based glue. I thought, given that it's fabric, I'd rather use that than the Mod Podge. So I was a bit alarmed when I saw that the glue was coming straight through that fabric, because that is silk. And now I've got a couple of bits of this red patchwork fabric. I'm going to glue it onto an unused Christmas card. So everything has dried now, and I've drawn some hearts onto the back of that silk fabric piece, and I'm just going to cut them out, see what they look like. You can see the box underneath, but if you didn't know that it was there, you wouldn't be able to tell what it is, and you might just think that it's part of the fabric. So what I'm going to do with these two little hearts is I've cut them like one in like a mirror version of the other, and I'm going to put some string in between them and make a little dangly out of that. So it's just a matter of gluing a piece of string or that cord in between the two layers, clamping it down and putting it aside to dry. Now I'm going to cut some of these red fabric hearts. So I'm just drawing them onto the back of the card, and then I'll cut them out and pop them aside. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them, but they'll just form part of my heart stash, my spare hearts department. This is the first one that I did, and I'm just free cutting it. I haven't drawn them on the back, put it that way. So I'm just cutting them out however the scissors take me. Sometimes I think these are the best ones. They turn out the wonkiest, and I think they have the most character. So I like the uneven sides and the funny leans that they have on them. I also found that when I'm doing this, if I cut like a teardrop shape to begin with, then I can go back in and do shape the top of the heart. It makes it a little bit easier than actually just cutting a heart straight out of the big piece of cardboard. So we've got a few of them now. They look beautiful. I love these. This is the paper from the Daphne's Diary that has no gloss on it, and you can see the difference. Like, while it's still lovely, it doesn't have that pizzazz that the gloss paper does. What I'm doing here is I'm fashioning an edge, a page edger. Is that what you call it? Making up my own terms here. Yeah, this one would be glued onto the edge of a page, so it's only like half hearts. It's half-hearted. It's a half-hearted attempt. So you can tell that my 10 days or so off filming has not improved my jokes. I'm very sorry. But anyway, I'm going to use this black pen to highlight the hearts. I do the other side of it, but I don't like the other side, so that won't get used. They're really, yeah, they're just not, don't like them, don't like them. This is what it would look like if it was attached to the edge of a page. I suppose that other one doesn't look so bad, the other side of it, but I prefer the all red. I cut this big heart out using a ruler that I've got that has geometric shapes, and it has a heart and a star in amongst the shapes, so I thought, oh, I'll cut one of these out, and I love the big heart, so that's a big hearted heart to go next to the half-hearted page trim. Now, doesn't this look pretty and vibrant compared to this red one, which is the dull paper? And that's what I was talking about, the difference between the flat paper and the glossy pages. This is just the bit of card that was left over from when I cut that heart out, and I sort of thought about making something out of it, but the heart is like the point at the bottom is too unstable. Like there's only a couple of millimeters of paper there, cardboard, so I don't even know why I'm inking it up. I don't know why I'm showing you this, but because it doesn't get used, but I just thought I'd leave it in there. Maybe if that heart had been centered a bit better, this could have been like a really nice card, but I think it would just break the way it is. Could have been had a piece of acetate put over it and then made into an envelope, but with that point being right on the bottom of the cardboard down there, it's really unusable. Oh, I mean, it could be used in collage, don't get me wrong, but not for what I wanted to use it for. But anyway, I thought I'd just leave that in so you can see how, you know, mistakes happen, and maybe you don't get to use it for what you intended to use it for, but yeah, they all come in handy. Doesn't it make a difference when the edges are inked? I love that. Such a difference. Really pop when they've had some ink or some Stabilo put around the edge of them. Going to make a couple of things now. So I've got a piece of cardboard and I'm just tearing the top layer off to expose the corrugation underneath it, and I'm going to use that big heart that I cut out to make a corrugated cardboard heart, which I'll use a little bit later on. And I'm using the dividers from the bottle box. So I cut them down a bit and then I give them a coat in gesso, so white gesso, just to strengthen that cardboard and to make it receptive to whatever I want to put on it. So these are going to end up as tags. I've also cut up one of the Oreo box, and they'll end up with as journal cards. I'm just covering over the advertising that's on the outside of the box. And now I'm going to ink these tags, which I still haven't separated because I've thought about making it into like a flip out, an opening, like a little folio type thing, but I end up pulling them apart and making them into two separate tags. Now see the lady over on the right hand side? So that's a digital kit called French Ladies. It's from Mateo, whose channel name is Arteo Mixed Media. And I'll put a link down in my description box if you want to buy any of his digitals. He doesn't have an Etsy store at the moment, but if you want his things, he's got a video for each of his kits, and you just need to send him an email. And the kits are really cheap, and there's heaps of pages in them. And if you send him an email, tell him which one you want, he'll send you a link to his PayPal account, so you can just pay him. And I'm not sure what it works out of in dollars, but it's they're less than €2, I believe. So really cheap kits, but beautiful, beautiful work. And I really love this girl. I think she's adorable. So there's the hearts that I was going to use as the page trimmer. I'm putting them onto this tag instead. I thought this could do with a little bit of inking just to break up the white. So I'm using a stencil and a makeup brush to spread some vintage photo around. Just adding a little bit of music paper, a little bit of collage onto this. I've also glued a tiny little bit of book page behind the lady's, like it's just sticking out from her neck there. Just, so there's something else on the page. And I'll ink around that, glue it down with glue stick, and then I'll attach the hearts. And I'm going to glue the hearts on with acetone glue because I want to make sure they're not going to come off. This is homemade texture paste, so 2 parts baby powder to 1 part PVA. And I got that recipe from Laurie Marie Jenkins. Really easy to make, and I put the date on the container, so it was back in September last year, and it's still in perfect condition and still smells like baby powder. Now I'm going to put some gold spatter, just some tiny little dots here and there. I've watered down that ink just a little bit. I'm going to add just a little bit of watered down ground espresso distress oxide, just here and there to age the paper up a little bit. So I'm dipping my brush in a container of water that's off to the side so you can't actually see that. I will, in a moment, spray some water onto it to try and get a few runs down the card. And this is where I decide that I'm going to cut these in half and have them as 2 separate tags. They would actually make good book covers, I reckon. So hint, hint, there might be something else coming up in another video very shortly. So I'm working on one of the pieces of the Oreo box, and I have torn out another image from the French Ladies kit by Mateo. I'm just going to ink around that, and I'm going to just glue this image straight onto that piece of cardboard. On the inside of that cardboard has got that nice browny colour. I'm just going to apply a little bit of ink around the corners and glue it down, and then I'll pop a little heart on there as well. Okay, so I have a very colourful array of little bits and pieces here. This is the heart that was made with the 2 fabric hearts. Made that into a little dangle. So I've also got this other one where I joined 2 together, which is really cute too, and I put some embroidery floss through in between the layers and then just tied a button onto that one, so that's really cute. I've got this red and white fabric heart left over. Now, I didn't show you the making of these 2 things. So this is the other half of this thing here, which I made into tags, and I was going to make it into a little booklet, but I decided to separate them. And now I'm thinking that they would make an excellent book cover, front and back. So, could be my next video. A date, I just glued it to a piece of the paper off the cardboard when I stripped down the corrugated cardboard. Yeah, so I've just embellished that a little bit. So there's those. I didn't show you the making of this one, but it is exactly the same as what I did with this one here. So these 2 are made from cardboard off an Oreo box, and the images are from Mateo's French Ladies kit, and I've just put one of my little hearts on each of them, so they're there. And then this one, well, I can't really say I made a heart, but I just cut one out, and so that was corrugated cardboard, and I just pulled the top layer off. Another one of Mateo's images there, and I've used a decorative punch to do down the side of that. And this is the piece of paper that I was using all through the Junk Journal January challenge to cover up my other page. So if you thought you recognized it, that's what it is. Got a couple of stamps. That's actually, I don't know if you can see it, it's a Valentine's Day stamp. Yeah. So the next thing that I'm going to do is to make a heart-shaped journal, and I'll have that up soon. I've got some leftovers. I've got a bit of the red and white fabric. I've got a bit of this silk fabric. I've got this that I cut the heart out of. So that is where this big heart here came from, in there. So I've still got this bit, which is usable. And then I've still got this big piece, which I haven't used at all. So I've got some more things to play with. And as I said, I'm going to make a heart-shaped journal. And hopefully I'll get it up before Valentine's Day. Alright, so thanks for watching. I hope some of you are some of my new friends that have joined my channel during the Junk Journal January challenge, and that you'll stick around for some other bits and pieces that'll be coming up. And also I need to let you know that Mateo has a challenge starting on the 1st of March called 77 Butterflies. So I'll put a link to his channel, and he can tell you about that. And I think I'll play along during that month because I love butterflies and I really like his channel, and it should be a fun challenge. So I'll see you soon for the heart-shaped journal for Valentine's Day, and in the meantime, have fun in your craft room. Thanks for watching. Hugs and cheers from Australia. Hooroo!